welcome to the show. I'm Phreak. I am a Diamond League of Legends player, which means I'm in the top roughly 1% of League players, usually a bit lower than that. This is not to brag, but more to say that I am better than most League players, so my advice is fairly useful, though there are better players out there who know even more than I do. So take that for what you want. In case you're an aspiring player and you want to improve, I'm a teaching resource among the many out there. What I'm doing today is bringing you guys a commentary on a Varus game that I played. Now, full credit, this is a TeamBuilder game. The average elo in this game was around gold, which is roughly top 30%. And the thing is, when I play games like these, I never try incredibly hard. What I mean by this is I'm usually just doing generally smart things. I'm not trying to do crazy outplays. I'm just doing what I feel is like a level of generally good play. And I think games like this are actually really useful to use as commentaries because there are things that I think every player can learn. And if you're able to follow these rules really well and do the sort of moderately difficult mechanics, then you can have similarly good success. This is the game where I started out behind, our team was losing, and I ended up going 13-3 on mid Varus. And I don't think I did anything all that special, so hopefully this ends up being a good learning tool for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to load up the game right now, and hopefully you guys all enjoy. So if this is going to load up, and it looks like it is, then we're going to get ourselves started. Alright, so as we load into the game, you can see the team comps here. I am mid Varus. Our bot lane is Soraka Caitlyn, jungle Gragas, top lane Vladimir. I'm playing with a bunch of friends and a couple of rioters. On the other side of the team, they've got support Alistar with Vayne, top lane Echo, mid lane Viktor, and jungle Gragas themselves. I'm going to put the champions in LCS order, just to make things a bit more easily sorted. And now we have the lane matchups down here. So I'm going to be watching from my point of view. Fog of War is on because that way you guys know what I know when you watch this game. And should generally work pretty well. I'm going to hide chat. We don't need that. And we can get ourselves started. Okay, so mid lane Varus. What do you do when you play mid lane Varus? Well, the goal of mid lane Varus is to be a sort of caster, an AD caster. You are a strong poke champion, much like Nidalee. You have decent team fighting through a couple of attack speed and critical strike items, but generally speaking, your goal is for the Q ability Piercing Arrow to be as powerful as possible. Does a whole lot of physical damage, scales with attack damage, item purchases, scales with armor penetration. It's a moderately good wave clear tool, but not amazing, but it'll help you get farm. You have a nice follow-up with Hail of Arrows. Another physical damage spell also slows people, and your ultimate HK into Corruption is a skill shot that will root possibly their entire team. So Varus is a poke champion with crowd control that he can use to help support the team. So right now what I'm trying to do is a trick you can do with Varus pretty often. You have a teammate ward their Gromp. Almost everybody starts a Gromp because they want their duo lane to leash it. And so I have a friend put this ward over the wall. I'm going to learn Piercing Arrow level 1, and I'm going to wait in a brush, hoping that I don't get seen. And I'm going to hope to steal the Gromp. Now the unfortunate thing is, we didn't see that they warded this right here. And my teammates didn't call it out to me, so I don't know this is actually warded. So this ends up backfiring. This is why I sit in the brush, though. You can see they don't know that I've come here, but they will eventually see me go over. So 155 turns around. I can see they've started the Gromp. I walk over. Of course, they can see me. This ward ends up timing out. But I want to steal this, and I'm hoping he missmites. I pull the Q out. Headbutt stops me, and I go, okay, crap. That was kind of useless. And in fact, as you go into the lane, well, I've already missed half a wave. This mid lane Viktor is already getting ahead of me. My life is difficult. This isn't exactly the best start in the game ever. Alright, so I didn't start well. That's fine. Let's go to laning phase. Oh god. Viktor also tends to outtrade Varus. This is kind of a bit of a problem. His E is very easy to land. It's instant cast, essentially. The Q is very good. He's level 2 first, and I'm already doing a bad job of taking trades. Again, Viktor is a mid-range champion. Mid-range champions tend to be very good at mid-range. Varus is a much longer-range champion. I'm better at much longer ranges. And if I'm ever in his range instead of my range, my life is much more difficult. So I've missed a lot of minion kills. I'm using Q to last hit when I can. and I'm otherwise just going to try to play as passively as possible. So you can see I'm sitting out of range of everything. I don't want to auto-attack, because if I walk up to auto-attack, Viktor hits me. I get to dodge that one. I get a Gragas gank. Okay, so what happened to the Gragas gank? My teammate said he was coming in. He already informed me of that, and so I tossed the E. I tossed the Corruption down to try to put a slow. You can see the slow is hit. He's right inside the field. His move speed's down to 255. I took a trade for it, but that's okay, because my Gragas was coming. The goal is just simply to set up the gank. Gragas indeed does come in. Unfortunately, he misses the body slam, but we still get his flash. And that's a pretty good gank. Right? Whatever. Not really a problem. No more follow-up. I don't land the Q. Okay, but I get some time now in this lane. And now I know that Viktor's flash is down. And Viktor's flash got used at about 3 minutes in. If you assume masteries and whatnot, that flash comes back up at about 7.5 minutes into the game. That's the timer. 4.5 minutes for someone who goes utility masteries. You should actually do that as well for yourselves, by the way. Try to type out flash timers and keep that known. Once again, though, I still can't stay in this lane safely. I'm playing as far back as possible. I'm just trying to last hit with Q. I'm trying to play fairly defensively. If I can harass, I'd like to. Right? I can deal some damage. He's at half. He's chugged some potions. He's actually chugged both of them. But the wave's pushed out, and now look at this. I don't know where their jungler could possibly be. And this is actually a bit scary. I put a ward over the wall. I run away to the left. I don't think I'm going to die to Viktor. Again, he's flashless, so I'm okay. And I put this trinket ward down to spot if the enemy Gragas might be coming. And that ward makes me feel safe. So I will hug the left side of the lane. You'll notice where I'm standing here is on this far side. I'm nowhere near this side. I have no idea if someone comes from down there. I'm going to hug near where my ward is. Unfortunately, I get hit again. My life bar's too low. I'm forced to recall. But you always want to hug the side of the lane that you have warded, and you want to ward pretty much very frequently. Okay. Unfortunately, I had no money when I backed. I had enough money for Sapphire Crystal and a few health potions. You want to back for a Tear of the Goddess. That's ideally the goal. You get that item, you start stacking material as soon as possible. It's a very powerful item. Generally speaking, any AD caster builds, their one big ticket mana item is Tear of the Goddess, and then you build attack damage from there. There's no Morello and Amaconda, Rathenes, and Holy Grail equivalent for AD casters, so that's the items you end up going for. Back to lane. I know Viktor's recalled as well to get himself some more items, and I'm simply just trying to farm back up. And the cool thing about AD casters is your attack damage is quite high, so 77 AD, plus the W passive. I hit minions for about 90 damage, which makes last hitting fairly easy. And you generally should not miss any CS uncontested as a champion like this. Anyone who likes to play attack damage mids, you should strive to be able to last hit literally every minion the entire time if you're never getting harassed. And I should almost never miss any CS this way. The only time I miss some is if I'm getting harassed and I'm no longer able to stay in lane. You can see I've so far cleared out pretty much most of the wave. I want to try to use my spells to harass the best I can. I knock down the casters, but I don't hit Viktor. And this is what happens. I have a Sapphire Crystal, so I have mana regen. My jungler made a very smart choice to also ward this same side of the lane. He chose the brush, but it allowed me to see that Gragas was coming for the gank from the top side, and life is safe once again. I again, bad gank, take a bad trade. Our Gragas can't really knock down this Viktor, and I'm just continuing to lose lane. I'm down 7 CS right now. I'm last hitting decently, but I'm getting behind. I recall early after I clear this wave because I want to back and, as before, finish Tear of the Goddess. I also buy Boots of Speed because I want to be able to keep range against my opponent. If I had the choice of getting a longsword, I wouldn't. I want Boots of Speed specifically because I can dodge Viktor's skill shots. I can also keep the range that I want. So far, all I've done all game, I screwed up my early lane, I went for a semi-invade and it failed. All I've tried to do is harass a little bit and farm from range. And up until I get blue buff, I really can't even do that many cool things. You can see, again, I'm playing very far back in the lane. I'm giving Viktor and Gragas a lot of respect. I have no wards right now. One thing that I've realized is you eventually sort of just learn what you feel is safe and what you feel is unsafe. And when you have no wards in a lane like this, notice how far back I was. Whoops. How far back I was when I last hit that wave. I am nowhere near what could possibly be a Gragas gank unless he does something really tricky and like jumps into this brush, flashes over the wall, body slams into me. None of that's going to really happen. And I just triggered the brush. Viktor's already been pushed back. And so once he's all the way back here, I feel safe to go put this ward down. That's also, I think, fairly important. I see many players die trying to put wards down. And unfortunately... Ooh, okay, that was a good flash. Let me actually replay that one. I actually missed that coming. So I mentioned how I want to hug on this side of the lane because I warded, right? So here's the ward. I'm playing far back from Viktor, right? I'm pretty afraid of him. He thankfully misses the E. And all is well. Puts the gravity field down. Alright, that's fine. He trades into me. I hit him back. I feel kind of safe. Then he pops ult and ignite, and suddenly Gragas arrives. And I basically just need to flash everything. I thankfully get lucky and flash body slam. I guess that's the one bit of mechanics that, you know, I probably should have died there. But you can see I hugged the left side of the lane. Gragas did come around, but he had to walk at me, throw a barrel, and then he finally arrived. So, again, things I could have done better, but by following the simple rule of stay near your ward, I had enough time to react to Gragas. Fairly simple rule, should be able to be followed. Once again, last hit the wave. Viktor's out of mana, so he recalls. Actually, I think he picks up blue buff. Yeah, he picks up blue buff. Once again, I see Viktor come into lane at 8 minutes with a fresh blue buff. I type in a chat. Their blue respawns at 13 minutes into the game. I time their blue buff at 13 minutes. Pretty simple tool. You see the guy show up with a buff, add 5 minutes. Just whenever you see the guy, just add 5 minutes to when you see him. It's close enough. Don't do any crazy math. Don't strain yourself. Just add 5 minutes to when you see the champion, and it's good enough. It's good enough. Okay. So, I was forced back. I was incredibly low. I recall. All I get is a longsword. I intended to go for Brutalizer next. Unfortunately, Gragas screws up the wave with me, but that's fine. I missed a couple CS. I'm down 10. I have 48 minions at 9 minutes. It's not very good. I also bought a pink ward. Worth pointing out that I also bought a pink ward to go with this tier and the longsword that I had bought. So now I have an even better ward. I mentioned earlier I warded up there. I warded in here. This ward's pretty good. It watches most trips into that brush. Also putting it right here is a good ward as well. But something to cover sort of this side of the lane to make sure that I feel safe. My jungler comes around, he calls over to blue buff, he gives it to me. You want to make sure that you clear the wave, then come up and grab it. Communication's pretty key, whether he spams pings at you, whatever it is. Do what you can to make sure you grab your buffs on time. And this pink ward just paid off. We see Viktor roaming topside, and he's killing the ward. We're like, well, Viktor, that's not really cool of you. I want to punish that. Gragas coming from the top, I'm coming from below, and so I chain the ult. Pop the ult down, one attack, put the Q in. Unfortunately, Gragas delayed a little bit too long. He wanted to wait to not layer the CC. Problem is he waited for Viktor to flash. Small mistake from Gragas, but again, your jungler's on the correct side, I noticed. I see this guy clearing a ward by himself. I'm going to show up and roam. We nearly get the kill for it. Again, fairly easy decisions to make right there. I know my teammates around. We both show up. One misplay gives them safety, but still, the right choices were made. I have blue buff. It's very easy to wave clear, and we continue on. Notice that I have never, ever crossed this part of the wave. I've never gotten past this midpoint here in this lane. I've never even tried, because I have no idea where their Gragas could be. Their Gragas could be here. Their Gragas could be there. He could body slam over this wall. He could be in this brush. I don't know where their jungler could be with reliable certainty. Because of that, I never want to be in a position to die. I have nothing to gain. Viktor wave clears fast enough. Viktor can last at the minions under his turret. I'm happy to clear the wave as fast as possible. It gives me time to run around the map, but I have no reason to go up and hit his turret. There's just nothing to gain for that. It's just simply a risk for no positives, so why do it? Now that I have blue buff, I'm able to spam spells much more often. You're seeing I'm able to harass Viktor quite a bit because of this. He's been chunked quite low. He's in at 300 health. And even still, I am unwilling to play aggressively. I don't have flash. Until I see Viktor go all the way back here, I know it could be only Gragas. Then I will finally play a little bit more aggressively, because now I know it could only possibly be one person. But if I were to walk up into attacking the turret range, I'm in range of Gragas, I'm in range of Viktor, I could die. I had time to hit that turret. I chose not to because it's a risk. Okay, pings come off. Hey, Echo's over here. Echo's coming. Gragas is coming. I beeline over there. Because I have been clearing the wave constantly, I get to be first to react. Viktor's stuck under his turret clearing the wave. I am not. I'm freed up, so I get to run up the river. And so my goal is primarily to deal damage and push our opponents off this Vladimir. Good heal from the Soraka, a flash, and unfortunately I don't realize this knockback is coming. I could have put the Q right through Echo and killed him, but I didn't see that coming. He flashed it anyway. The E, now that I saw the knockback happen, would have slowed down Echo. But hey, we roam quickly enough to save Vladimir. A good ult from Soraka, good moves by both myself and Gragas. If we had communicated better, we could have gotten more kills, but if you expect your game to be solo queue, you don't expect that kind of communication, oh well. Once again, clear the wave, spam spells, who really cares? Alright. I'm now sitting on 1,000 gold with a longsword, meaning that I can finish a brutalizer. I think it's generally pretty smart if you have strong wave clear as a champion to recall somewhat often to buy item spikes like this. It also allows me to replace the pink orb that just got killed. I want to put it back up. That I also think is important to me. I think it's a pretty big deal that I keep my vision up to keep myself safe, and I keep my item spikes coming in. Q to clear the wave. If anything can be one-shot, I auto-attack it. I could probably, yeah, I'll just Q to clear those last two. And now I can full hit the entire wave by basically using 2 Qs and a couple of auto-attacks properly spaced apart. Okay, time to go replace my pink ward. I bought some time. I'm not under my turret anymore. Pink ward goes back down. And this is the better spot for it, by the way. The prior one was actually in a worse spot. This time I actually watch this part of the cliff. The one I had earlier was like over here. But now, actually, when Gragas comes down, unless he body slams this wall, he cannot get into this brush or through this river without getting spotted. That's actually a really big deal. I think it's very important that your pink ward placement is good enough to watch the actual choke points people could come through. Now, I clear the wave and I realize, oh crap, there's a team fight down here. I should assist my team as soon as possible. Now, by wave clearing first, Viktor's going to miss all this CS. That's kind of nice. But I'm here to support my team. First things first, ult to disengage. I managed to just barely tag Gragas, and the fight has begun. Alright, so, auto attack. I'm afraid of Viktor, so I kite back, fully charge a Q, and let it off, hitting Alistar. Okay, that's a good fight. Now back in. Gragas goes near me. I use E to disengage him. Notice I led my side of where he was, but instead they try to run. Auto attack, move between hits. I realize that Alistar's not a good target because he's got the ulti on, but Gragas is. Get the Q through the wall. Knock him down. Get stunned, nothing else to gain here. That's fine. I reacted to a team fight happening in the river. I ulted to disengage, and then looked for whatever targets I could. Now I see Vayne. And I know Alistar can't help. I know Viktor's up here, and Echo's still top lane. Vayne is by herself. So I Q her, and I'm on the chase. And I'm like, you know what? I think that with a slow, I could probably kill her. So I flash E. Notice again, I lead the slow, right? She's got all this distance of slow to work through to keep getting CC'd. Get knocked back, Q's back up, charging the brush, and I force her to flash. And you can see flash water goes through Fog of War, so we know she flashed, we know she's gone. That's fine. Out I go. But I noticed that I saw a low health Gragas or a low health Alistar. We killed Gragas, Vayne's gone, and remember what I said earlier? We timed that. We timed the respawn of their blue buff. I said it was going to be at 13 minutes. Lo and behold, here we are. I cleared the wave. Blue buff has started. And the team is here, and we know there's not really enough backup to stop us. We can steal away their blue buff that we had timed and walked up to go take. So I got a blue buff steal. That's pretty sweet. It is not worth my time to kill Scuttler, by the way. I could kill it, but there is a wave right here that I need to deal with. It's going to crash into my turret fairly soon. It's a wave and a half. There's 5 casters and 3 melees. I need to get all this CS. Q through the fog. And I'm going to wait for the start to hit this twice so I can hit the melee. Alright. Thankfully I don't hit these low enough so I can still hit them. I take a double Q. That's kind of painful. You can see that it's still difficult for me to face this Viktor. My harass on him is unreliable. His lands so much more often. And it's difficult. I realize that I need 2 auto attacks to clear minions, so I say screw that, let's just Q them. And clear that away. Alright, now I realize, oh crap, why did Soraka ult? Soraka ulted because bot lane is scary. Bot lane is getting dive, so I'm already roaming down. I'm already roaming down to help, see what's happening. I watch the fight and realize, oh, they disengaged, never mind. And they turn right back around. It's very important, right? Because you're constantly wave clearing. You're not stuck in your lane very often at all. Always look for clues around what could be going on the map that I need to react to. Is there a fight in the bottom lane? Is there a fight in the top lane? So far, I've reacted to 3 fights. 4 fights, actually. I saved Vladimir, almost killed Viktor, got down to this Scuttle Crab fight, and also almost helped save my bot lane. Now fight number 5. Again, Vladimir Gragas, catch my jungler. I'm heading down. I've been wave clearing. Viktor again loses a wave of minions under his turret, and suddenly, I was down 15 CS, now we're tied. Because I'm constantly wave clearing, and I'm reacting in time to things that Viktor is losing CS under his turret. This second wave is easily cleared. Tie the minions back up. I still take harass because it's a difficult matchup, but life is still okay. 1,500 gold right now. My next item is going to be either cooldown boots and a pickaxe, maybe a last whisper, but I know that I still need some more caster sort of items for damage and CDR. I'm still playing very afraid. I don't have any wards on this side of the map. We just actually saw my jungler die over there. We know I can get ganked from this side. So I, again, need to hug the top side of the lane. I can't be anywhere near this brush, and I'm just wave clearing from range. It means I lose minions sometimes. That's okay. It's just something that I have to suck up and deal with, because me dying is not worth 3 CS. Same old, back in the lane. Press E at range. This is actually a misplay by me. He flash engages, but he's stuck on my turret, and ult would kill him, but I misclick. Screw it up. I say, well, I might as well cast something. Get the Q down, but he kills me. Mechanical misplay would have killed him for the over-aggression. Just, you know, things you should be doing on reaction, of course. Nothing all that crazy. Take stock of this game. Our team's down about 1,000 gold. Our team's down 3 kills. We're okay, though. It'll be medium. It'll be fine. All right, I respawn. I, in fact, buy the cooldown boots, and I buy the pickaxe. So now I'm sitting on a decent amount of attack damage. I've got 149 AD. I've got 25 cooldown reduction from items. So I'm actually a meaningful sort of caster right now. And now that I have this extra damage and stuff, and I have a pretty fully stacked tier, it's at, I should stop pausing so much. It's at plus about 400. I can actually harass a fair bit and not be too concerned about mana. So I can try to harass this Viktor a little bit. And I start doing that once I get sort of partway through the item build. Clear the way as fast as possible. Viktor gets to clear first, meaning he can head down. Their team is picking Dragon. We, in fact, kind of call on our internal comms. They might be doing Dragon. I clear the wave in reaction. Seeing Viktor come down, seeing these guys here, I actually feel safe to push up. Notice that I push up on the left side of the lane. I'm way over here while doing this. So I'm aggressively clearing the wave. I know I can't do much, but I'm trying to clear as fast as possible so that I have time to leave. Like, now I can do whatever I want because I cleared this wave as fast as possible. And because of that, I had top lane. I said, okay, their entire team is in the bot river. We just saw them all on this side. Let's go make a play for Echo. And so I pulled Gragas up with me, and we want to kill this guy. Really good stuff. Echo, though. Echo actually wins this fight. He does a really good job of this one. I go for the flash Q. Unfortunately, I miss it. Go for the ult. He jumps back for that one, but now we get the catch. Slow lands. Good knockback by Gragas. I just changing my ability as fast as possible. So now what's happened? Okay, we've cleared top. This turret's already dead. This turret's on the field, I guess. They were all just bot lane for Dragon. So now they've come up for mid lane. Now, in my estimation, I can't defend mid 1v3. There's really no way this happens. Viktor, Gragas, and Vayne are all too scary. There's not much I can do about this. So instead, I'd rather just push up this top lane
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
and get it into the turret. It's not a lot, but it's something. It's the best I could have done. It allows me to recall and buy some items. I'm able to finish Last Whisper. It's pretty much the only thing I felt I could have done at this point in the game. Just estimating that mid lane couldn't be where I was going to go. I was going to die if I showed up, so I might as well shove top and then recall and then get back to the lane. Ends up being the right choice. We don't get punished for anything else. Alright. They've now actually lane swapped. I don't know why they sent Vayne mid, but they did. But this actually is less scary for me. Kind of, because Vayne has much less playmaking than Viktor in this sort of situation. We realize the blue buff has come back up. Because I got their blue buff stolen, our Gragas took our last blue buff, but now here's blue buff number 3. Grab it. And now I'm full caster build Varus with a blue buff. This is pretty strong. Unfortunately, Vlad doesn't get the memo that we're all gone. Gets caught out. Unfortunate there. I come down, and I need to estimate whether or not I'm safe here. Right, we do have 3 versus their 4, which could be scary. But I land a Q on Vayne, and I'm like, you know what? They're not posturing on this wall. If Alistar had come and walked around here, I'd have to respect it, but that doesn't happen. We see that they're a little bit overextended. Vayne's too low to fight really easily. So I say, that's a misclick on the E, by the way. But we say, let's go for the Alistar. He's rooted up. Gragas unfortunately overextends, but I'm going to do whatever I can to deal damage. Put the Q through the team. Vayne gets quite low. Alistar combos me. And I'm just looking for targets that I can actually hit and destroy meaningfully. 1 second left on both my Q and E cooldowns. And while I'm exhausted, I'm happy to press the E. Use it to kite. I see Vayne incredibly low, so I just snap cast a Q. Ends up doing enough damage to kill her. All I did there was look for targets. Unfortunately, I got CC'd really, really well by Gragas and Alistar, but I found someone to hit. Managed to trade a kill back. Good block by Viktor. Unfortunate overaggression by some members of the team. It was a 3v4. We shouldn't have taken the fight in melee range, but poke is usually okay. One thing worth pointing out is that my ulti cooldown is only 55 seconds at this point in the game. It's only rank 2 and I haven't even finished all of my items yet. and it's under a minute cooldown. So spamming that spell out frequently is totally fine. It's already back up right now. I used it, died in the fight, and it's back up before I could even leave my base. It is totally fine to spam your spells as hard as you can. The only real concern you have is mana. Once again, back to the mid lane. One thing that players don't do often enough actually is stay in their lane, which is interesting. We talk about grouping up and pushing and taking objectives down, but until there's an objective to actually go for, and until you can realize what objectives are takeable, you're almost better off making sure you stay in your lane. Right? We're at 170 minions now each in the mid lane here. At 22 minutes, which isn't great. I've missed quite a number by making some misplays, but I've managed to accrue a whole lot of farm, get a good number of items in here, and generally have a good amount of golden experience. I'm level 12. That's pretty good as well. Always showing up to mid lane to make sure this lane is not getting pushed in unnecessarily. The same thing goes for top and bottom lane as well. I think it's very important to keep all that farm and make sure the minions stay cleared. Once again, you can see how far back I'm playing. I'm still playing incredibly reserved. Last hitting minions with Qs. I don't know if Gragas could be here, so I'm never showing up on this side. If I had invested in more wards and put one maybe here, put one over there, or like our support had done that, I could feel safer in the mid lane, but I don't feel safe, so I'm not going to show up past the river. Look for Harass and Viktor, miss it, but who cares? I have a tier, I have a ton of mana, it's not even going to be a problem. Probably E that wave, knock down a couple extra minions. You can see I'm missing some CS, right? I just missed a melee wave, a melee minion on that wave. Now we see Alistair. He's clearing the pink ward. Viktor's in mid. I'm playing, you know, reasonably safe. And there's the ping. Vayne and Alistair are right here. And I'm like, oh crap. So I pop Ghost right away. Gragas comes from the left-hand side, and I'm like, that's bad. And unfortunately, I misplay here. I could have flashed down and gotten away, but I get caught out. The Alistair that killed the ward never actually was part of that fight. The Gragas came from the left-hand side, and good on him to sneak through. I didn't see him come in. And just a good follow-up. You see the kind of ganks that are available if you really put your mind to it. But, yeah, it's a misplay. Didn't see him coming. So, our enemies do a good job. They capitalize off that good start. They knock down mid tier 2. They zone back the defenders. And now, wow, we're down 4,000 gold 24 minutes in. We're down 7 kills. These guys are in a really good spot. Our opponents are pretty far ahead of us. Life's difficult. Alright, well, I've managed to finish Yomu's Ghostblade, though. Now, the interesting thing is, by now you're probably supposed to finish your Manamune, actually. In this game, I think I actually built items in the wrong order. Manamune is a whole lot of attack damage. The toggle's very good in fights as well. But Yomu's Ghostblade has its purposes as well. So we get right away into a team fight after finish the item. As before, my goal is to start by landing a bunch of poke, full charge Q, hit what I can. I managed to tag Viktor as well as Gragas. Pop the ulti. Also, early on in the fight, you want to add the crowd control as soon as possible. Land some auto attacks, pop the E down, keep people in place as much as possible. And my number one goal is staying as safe as I possibly can. I know I can get picked off. So I'm trying to play somewhat far back. Good ult by Echo keeps himself alive. I have to kite away from his slow field. Get some more early damage in. I'm just waiting for my Qs to keep me back from cooldown. Alright, we pick up Viktor. Okay, let's keep going. Crit, auto attack onto Vayne. More good burst comes through. And now the fight's like really begun, so I've got to pop Yomu's. And once people are in actual melee range of you, that's when you want to pop the actives, because they're worth their actual like full power. Because you're going to be landing a lot of auto attacks here. Echo gets the repeated dive, and I realize, wait, Echo is actually way more important than this Gragas, so I actually shouldn't have cast E on Gragas, but I finally switched to my targets over the wall. Couple of auto attacks on this Echo, and you realize that because I've kited back so much, I was never an easy target. Gragas, Caitlyn, and Viktor all got focused, even Soraka got focused, but they couldn't reach me. I try to get the flash Q on Alistair, just misses unfortunately. I kite back, managed to clean up the fight, we go 3 for 3. All I did that fight was play pretty far back, spam Qs on my 4.8 second cooldown, E's on a 6 second cooldown, ult the very start, and just stay at my maximum range. Okay, only 3,000 gold down. And because we killed the 3 most scariest members of their team, I get time to push down mid. Turret takes a fair bit of damage. Soraka picks up some gold. And I still feel safe, so I clear this wave as well. If you can, you really want to clear as many waves as you can. It buys you time to recall without losing CS. And it also means your opponents have to sit here clearing minions that are stuck farther and farther towards their base. They haven't been... Like, Alistar can't go anywhere to ward. Vayne is shown on a very unthreatening part of the map. We know these guys can't threaten us. When we do see them come down, we know they're coming down through this alleyway. Alistar is, like, right here. We saw Gragas get to this point. And now the two Gragases fight each other in the river. Alright, I'm 5-3-1. I've gotten a lot of gold from that last fight. Looks like, though, we are posturing around this dragon. Problem is, we are missing Caitlyn and Soraka. They're all the way down here, so we can't fight. And I have no reason to play aggressively into this. I also don't have any wards I can place down right now. So all we can do is reveal this dragon and hope for a miracle steal. I pop the ulti, try to hit them. I actually don't, unfortunately, but I was trying to deal some damage, try to scare them. Dragon us down to 1k, and I'm like, alright, I'm going to full charge a Q. They don't smite early, but our Gragas does smite in time. Bodies I'm over, flash to the wall. Pretty nice play, we get a dragon steal. Right, all I did, play super safe, expect to not get jumped on, and we probably weren't going to be. And then just go for the long range poke over the wall and it ended up working out. You want to always get that dragon steal, but worked out okay. Alright, another recall from me. Now, in the actual last recall, I had picked up upgraded stealth totem. This is actually really important. I think in solo queue, you should basically always go for the upgraded green ward dropper as soon as possible. In top lane and mid lane, I think both those lanes should be doing that. Jungle can, but typically jungle and support go sweeper, AD carry gets scrying orb, and you should get greater stealth totem on the 2 solo lanes. Once again, blue buff respawns, #1 goal. Get there, grab the blue buff, free up your jungler so he's not wasting all his time sitting there taking blue buff for you. Gives less time for them to steal. You want to clear it as soon as possible. You always want to clear it as soon as possible. Alright, back into mid lane. No surprise here. Clear the minions away. Not doing anything fancy whatsoever except for showing up in team fights and kiting back when the fights happen. Drop a ward over a wall. See an Alistar. Poke him. Get some damage there. Even got silenced a little bit. Good sweep use to kill some wards. See Viktor come in. Pop E. Harass him. Just try to make his life difficult. And we zone them off this off our wards. We get Scuttler. We get wards down. We cleared theirs away. Back to mid lane. Clearing mid. Really important, as always. Pop Q, pop E. I have blue buff, so I have basically infinite mana. And here's the interesting thing. At this point now, we're actually deciding, like, let's siege. Blue buff Varus, mana moon completed. We're getting behind anyway. We're down 2,500 gold. Let's look for the poke game. And all I'm doing is full charging Q on cooldown over and over again. Cooldown's back. Full charge Q. Clear part of the wave. Walk forward. Walk towards them. Full charge Q. Okay, nothing at the Raptor camp. That's fine. Q comes back up. Start charging it. Maybe look for Viktor again. I looked for Vayne that time. Viktor would have been a better choice. That's okay. Alright, cooldown's back. Full charge Q. Walk up. Look for Alistar. Don't hit it. Full charge Q it again. Look for Viktor. Hit that one. Now he's down to a third. And we can see that how far back we are playing. We can wave clear from so far away. The caster minions are basically already dead. And Alistar Gragas are too afraid to engage on us right now. No one's flanking. We have a ward here to watch for Gragas. We have a ward here to watch for Gragas. We know Gragas was last seen over here. We're totally fine. You see their entire team is stuck on this side of the screen. Viktor had to recall to go heal because of the poke. We get more time to harass these guys down. And again, I've got an upgraded ward dropper. And our team has a sight stone, so we can keep putting these wards down and spotting them out. See, now I feel safer. Viktor's gone, Gragas is gone. Now I can pop E, use that for harass as well, because it feels safe. Fully charged Q, missed that one. All I'm doing back and forth over and over. I'm not hitting this turret, I'm just poking enemy champions. All I'm doing over and over and over again. Pop the E, Caitlyn pops Q, harass Viktor, hit him ahead, hit him again, he's down to 2/3. Now I realize that we've actually managed to get our foothold up towards this turret. So now this ward over the wall is actually really important. I want to see if someone's looking on this wall to flash over and explode us with a cask or something. This now becomes a very important ward because before we were facing right here. And so this spot and this spot were important. Now we're fighting around here. So this spot's important. And you can see that the wards need to move up as your team moves up. If we didn't have this ward, it'd be much harder to deal with Gragas. Muramana completed. Fully spamming Q. We can see how far back their team is playing. And in case they wanted to contest this turret, I pop ult. Doesn't hit. Oh well, no big deal. Pop the Q down onto Vayne, knock the turret down. And now Vlad chooses this time to engage. I'm okay with following. I pop Ghost because I realize that we are really going hard and I can't reach otherwise. So I pop Ghost to go in, look for the full charge Q, smack him up pretty hard. We actually kill off Vayne, which is impressive. And immediately I've got to kite back. Immediately I realize Chaos Storm is scary. Get healed up by the Soraka. We need to clear this wave before we do anything else. This wave needs to get down. Land a Q. Managed to do a little bit of damage towards this Viktor. A little bit of damage to the Gragas, but I get stunned. Harassed around a little bit. This hurts a little. Great silence by Soraka, though, and Gragas is picked off. Now I realize Viktor is low. Viktor will die to a single Q. So I charge the Q. And I'm in range, but I choose to flash Q anyway. It gets him, thankfully, but that was a misplay. But we managed to get just enough kills with our range, with them being indecisive. The poke manages to work. Soraka keeps us sustained. Okay, we've broken and we've actually gotten a gold lead now for ourselves. And all I've done is play towards the back, pop my cooldowns on cooldown because I have blue buff and infinite mana. And then now I think, guys, the fight's over. Look at the minimap. Bot lane, pretty big wave right in front of their turret, and 3 of them are dead. 3 are dead. We've got a wave in position. We can push. Q it, whatever, don't get anything done. But give the minions away really fast. And, hey, look, a turret kill. Now we can recall. And I actually get a little bit greedy here. I tried to harass Echo, and I really shouldn't. Their whole team is alive right now. This is very scary. Thankfully, we chunk him down a little bit, so that's okay. I'm still trying to clear minions. This is actually really, really greedy. I pop E for a slow field. Someone puts a ward down as we leave. Okay, time for the recall. Alright, cool. Didn't get punished. That's fine. But it was greedy. Alright, siege number 1 worked. The poke comp with a Soraka. That went nicely. We got ourselves into it. I'm now going for my next attack damage item. Finish Brutalizer, finish Last Whisper, finish Manamune, finish Youmu's for teamfight power. Now let's go for Bloodthirster. Let's get some more attack damage. Once again, walk to mid, clear mid. Put a ward down over this wall. It's one of my favorite wards. It helps track mid lane. This is a bit risky, but I feel somewhat safe, so I ward here as well. And now I have really good control over whether or not this left-hand side gets flanked again. Now, mid's going to push. Actually, it's not going to push yet, right? Mid has an open inhibitor. I really care about pushing down mid lane. That's actually very, very important. So I want to make sure that our team is safe to push in the mid lane. 2 big flank wards. Gragas cannot come through this area without getting spotted by the ward. He can't TP behind us, or, well, no one has TP, but, you know, he can't get behind us without getting spotted by a ward. I push this wave up. I still am a little bit afraid of everyone else. Nothing to gain anyway. There's no minions to kill. But we got the first push. They're reacting to us. We get Scuttle Crab. We get to walk around their blue buff. We get to put wards in their jungle. I got to be here before them, even though it was on their side of the map. And I say, okay, let's just try to steal as best we can. Go for the smite. Gragas gets it. Good stuff. We get a blue buff steal. Because we were able to roam in time. Alright, we see their team once again. I get some poke down. Viktor's actually getting quite low, and I realize Viktor's overextended. So I go for the ulti, and I landed on him. And now he's in a really, really bad spot. Auto attack into E. I need to kite back, though. Notice that I do not go for another auto attack. This is Alistar Gragas. These are scary champions. You don't want to be near these guys. I put 1 auto attack down, and then I ran the heck away, and I am right at headbutt range. I'm like just barely not getting killed by this Alistar. So he flashes, headbutts, pulverizes, and imagine if I was still in range of Viktor right now. I would be dead. Vayne would have killed me with Condemn. It'd be all over. Get pushed around by Gragas ulti, and I'm like, oh god, I'm so terribly afraid. Charge the Q. I'm just hitting the front line. I pop Youmu's, I turn on Muramana, and I'm just trying to hit this front line, this tank line that's trying to scare me. Because they do a lot of damage, I don't want to deal with that crap. I'm just kiting back, hitting the front line. Gragas flashed away because I did a lot of damage to him. Alright, well now it's on this Vayne and Alistar. Charge the Q. Hit the Alistar. Probably should have targeted Vayne, but it's okay. And then I see Gragas over the wall, and I'm like, oh, well, you're dumb. Land an auto attack, land an E, and Caitlyn gets the ulti. Alright, one more attempt. I just saw Alistar not long ago. Charge the Q. Spot him. Look for Vayne. Hit her. Pretty cool. But just some closing poke. And then now we have Dragon Control. right? So all we did in that fight is I said, okay, Viktor's overextended, couple of spells, whoa, tank line. Run away from the tank line, run away from the tank line. Once the fight starts, pop Yomu's, turn on Muramana, start hitting whatever I can while kiting backwards. I don't want to get in the face of Vayne, she'll win. I don't want to get in the face of Viktor if he's full health, he'll win. All I'm doing is kiting back, hitting what I can while not getting killed. Easy decision making there. Blue buff's back up, I want it. You'll notice one thing actually, if you look at the scoreboard at the bottom here. Notice that they have just 4 unchanged trinkets, and then the support was smart enough to go sweeper. We have 3 upgraded trinkets, including an upgraded warding totem, which means we just have better ward control than them. If you look at the minimap, like look at the number of blue dots and the number of red dots, which is like this one, some random defensive ward that like doesn't even matter. That one's pretty good, and like 1 on Baron. Like our wards are significantly superior. We can like see into their jungle and stuff. Scuttlecraft control, nice to be a part of. Mid lane got cleared anyway, nothing better to do. Just clear the wave really safely. Again, not doing anything fancy at all. But my scoreline has crept up to 6-3 and 4. Pretty good. Alright, now I make a call to do something risky and head towards Baron. I don't believe we sweep the wards away very well, but we start up on Baron. The thought being, we just want to fight. Let's take another fight. Let's just make them come into us. We have the ward control to see them coming in, so they have to filter in one by one through a ton of vision. And that's exactly what they do. They walk at us through vision. And so all I'm doing is waiting. I'm not casting spells on Baron. I press 1E, and I'm saving the rest. Here they come. Pop the ult right away, and I tag Viktor. Viktor is not in this fight. Gragas pops the ulti. Everyone is separated. Unfortunately, it kind of breaks my ult. We end up rooting the Gragas only, but this separates the team, right? We essentially got poked down. They aren't dealing damage with any of their damage dealers. We're getting to free hit Alistar and pop his ulti. Vlad goes to buy some time. He can pool or flash, whatever. And once again, I pop Yomu's. I pop whatever spells I can. I actually missed the Q, unfortunately. But all I'm doing is kiting back and hitting what I can. Gragas barrel ends. I hit Gragas. I'm not going for Viktor. I'm not going for Echo. I'm hitting Gragas. Auto attack. Pop E. Auto attack a couple more times. And it's actually, by the way, more important to get your spells on cooldown than to stack up your W. Q through 3 of them. We get 1. Let's go chase. A couple of crits there. More damage down. Echo dies. Pop another E. Vayne dies. Long range Q. Flash Q. Thank you very much. That one's difficult because you have to know the range of flash and max range Q, and that can be difficult, but all I did, kite back, separate the front line, ult as soon as they try to get into us. Viktor didn't do anything for the first half of that fight. He barely cast Chaos Storm before it ended, because I ulted at the start when they're all walking in a straight line. And I kited back and hit whatever I could, and we won the fight. But yeah, one thing I was saying earlier is that it is very important that you put your spells on cooldown. I mean, keep in mind, let's do some quick math on Varus. My attack speed is less than 1.0, so I attack less than once per second. W obviously needs 3 stacks to do full damage before you waste it, so it'll take 3 seconds for me to waste anything. 6-second cooldown E, 5-second cooldown Q. Even if I cast my spells on cooldown, I'm still casting them faster than I can stack Blight. There's no reason to wait for 3 Blight stacks. Hit your spells on cooldown in a team fight on Varus. Hit your spells on cooldown on Varus. Now I make a call to go push for this. We killed 3. We knocked down middle inhibitor. Let's push down to the bot lane. Maybe this will work. Unfortunately, really not enough minions left. We're just not going to get anything done here. We get like it down to half, and then we're like, oh crap, they're coming. Notice that my ult is back up already because max CDR Varus. So I ult Vayne. She tries to dodge, can't. And now we're like, oh my god, she's stunned. This girl's super screwed. And she's just like, she's done. Like, she's done. Goodbye. Goodbye. Ult on cooldown. Not hard. Good follow-up by the team. Promote a cannon minion, because why not? But now we've got to run. We've kind of overstayed. I'm trying to poke while leaving. I guess it's working. We got Echo down to like 60%. Saw someone nice there, press star. Didn't do anything special there at all. And now I'm greedy. Now I'm like, I want to clear this next wave. This is actually a really bad choice, because I can get easily punished for this. Thankfully, Soraka ends up staying. If she didn't stay, I would die for this. Clear the wave. I don't stay any longer, because I'm actually now afraid of getting jumped, because we have no wards here, and lo and behold, Gragas, Echo, Alistar, all running through this lack of wards that I had, because I decided to stay and push this down. Absolutely huge mistake. So I recall and I'm like, oh god, crap. And so I don't expect the slow or the root to land, so I lead my Q a bit too much. But I put the slow field down. The East stops Alistar completely, so only Echo can reach me now. Gets some good damage, but a good exhaust comes in, and now I can hit him. Like, I'm gonna do what I can. Auto attack, press Q. Echo dies before even realizing it. Alright. Alistar shows up. My ult came back from cooldown after killing Vayne. Alright, let me peel this guy away from me. Let me root him up so I can, you know, kite this guy back a little bit. Put auto attacks down. Put the slow field in. Put a Q through him. Do what damage I can. Okay, now freaking Gragas is here. I can still go for this Alistar a little bit. Hit him pretty low, but now I can't chase through Gragas. Like, I don't care if I kill this Alistar. This doesn't help, like, the state of the map. I need to get away from this Gragas. I run backwards. Put a Q through him. I expect him to chase, so I put the E on myself. He ended up walking backwards for no reason. But I pop the Yomus, I turn on Muramana, and my team shows up to help. They also realize what was going on. Auto attack, Q immediately, take him down. Now you'll notice that a lot of these times in fights, I am pressing Q as a double tap and not as a full charge. Why am I doing that? Number one, let's look at the damage comparison. The damage goes up about 50% by full charging. So if I wait, let's see, the timer is 2 seconds, I think, to fully charge it. If I wait 2 seconds, I get 75 plus 200. I get 300 damage if I wait 2 seconds to charge the rest of the thing. Or I can just simply auto attack for 340. I could wait 2 seconds and get 300 damage, or I could auto attack twice, each for 300. In a team fight, just double tap that. Just hit your spells as fast as possible. On cooldown, if you can weave auto attacks to proc your W, great. Alright. Fight went well. Buy some more items. I go Quicksilver Sash. I need it for the exhaust. I need it for maybe a Condemn from Vayne. I need it for the back end of an Alistar stun. Finish the Bloodthirst because tank stats are great, and now I have 400 attack damage. You could also go Blade of the Ruin King here. I think Ruin King is quite good on him. And now I see, okay, as I run up mid because I wanted to clear it, probably was the wrong choice. Mid wasn't that useful. Should have gone towards bottom, and my team gets caught because of it. Like, I wasn't there. They get jumped on. I unfortunately didn't realize who was coming. I went for the blue buff steal, and it was incorrect. I could have gone for the Echo instead. I was hitting the Scuttle Crab. Now I realize the fight has actually begun. And so the fight starts. I pop Yomus. I turn on Muramana. Alistar's in front. Let's go hit him. I Q assessed his stun, by the way, so I can hit him sooner. And I pop the ulti, not on Alistar, but for these guys. Unfortunately, I missed. I didn't put my mouse down in time, but I was looking to peel down Gragas. Alright, target the guy in front. I'm not walking past anyone. I'm just hitting whoever I can in the front of the team. He's really low. I don't chase. I don't ghost after him. I charge the Q, and I go back to this Viktor because he's the important one. It's not about killing targets. It's about getting rid of the things that are actually threatening. You can win a fight by getting 0 kills. Look, Viktor had to leave the fight. Gragas is out of the fight. We get to kill an isolated Vayne. That's really good. By the way, Gragas is still going to die. He didn't get anywhere. Auto attack into Q. Second auto attack. Pick him up. Alright, cool. Now I'm 11-3 by just doing really safe things. Alistar's really low. I want to kill this guy. He flashed the wall. There he is, in fact. Charge the Q. See him just in time. Snipe him down. Echo had to dodge Caitlyn ulti. Single auto attack kills him. 13-8. Doing nothing special here. Being safe. Not chasing kills ever. Just hitting what I can. Now our team's up 7,000 gold. Continue to push in the bot lane. Oh, by the way, here's the reason why you push Here's the reason why you usually want to show up to lanes that are pushing near the enemy turrets, right? Our team went bottom to push near their turret. If we win a fight near that lane, we get to go kill the turret. Lo and behold, inhibitor turret goes down, inhibitor goes down, you can push right into mid to try to close the game out. Ult's already back up. Yes, it hits Viktor. Varus can do these kinds of things, just making very simple choices. Alright, that's the game. So, essentially, yeah, the point from this was... Let me switch that. So, yeah, the point of this commentary was simply to illustrate, honestly, just the generally smart things to do as a marksman champion, even though you're not building a lot of attack speed and crit. It's about using the cooldowns properly on things like Yomu. It's about using your spell cycles properly. And it just felt like a game where it didn't require anything special. There was no magical outplays. It was just simple, what I considered as generally smart play. And these are the kinds of things that I usually see lower tier players lack. Just the general understanding of what you should and shouldn't be doing in a game. And it's something that really good players, they just learn as instinct. And, like, in my brain, I was never thinking, like, oh, man, you know, if only my support warded this rush for me, I could go up mid. I was just saying, well, I don't have vision, I can't go up mid. In my head, and I just, there's no reason for me to walk up mid anymore. I like almost never auto attack mid lane turret until we had 3 people. I just never did because there's no upside there compared to the downside. So that was a game I thought illustrated some fairly simple decision making, generally smart play, and I had a really good game because of it. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and that's gonna do that for this audio commentary. All right, back to the regular scheduled stream. What's up, everybody? I'm gonna have to relog PvP.